What's up guys? Welcome back to the Home Slice. So I'm going to quickly answer my own question, my own challenge, and then throw the link to Pete. My two greatest moments of knife remorse. Like when you put a knife on an auction or a trading site and then you realize, like, as you're slipping it into the packaging to ship it out, you're like, this was a mistake. I really felt that with my old Spyderco Salt 1. Like, I would stick that thing in my pocket and go swimming with it and all of this stuff and never had to worry about rust. And that was such a cool aspect of having that knife. And I've had opportunity to get them again in the past, but there's always something that sort of pulls my attention a little bit more. But when I think back to it, I'm like, man, someday I got to replace that Spyderco Salt 1, you know, and then just go on some like awesome trip to like the tropics or something like that. Number two, I would say I used to have a Benchmade Model 531, and they've since discontinued those. It's sort of like the 530, which was like that black handle dagger axis lock kind of model. I'll throw a photo up here. But it had a full flat grind, and so it basically had the blade of the modern bug out, but it was in 154 cm. And I had one of these, and the handle was symmetrical, it's sort of dagger shaped, but I actually ground the back corner off and redid the handle so the ergonomics felt really good. And I also dug out the spot where you would get the thumb stud because it was quite a sharp angle, which was uncomfortable. And I custom molded all the ergonomics, refinished the G10, and then I basically had like a G10 Benchmade bug out in 154 cm before they even produced the bug out. And man, that thing would slice. And the 154 cm, I don't know if it was the model or the era or whatever, or if I just lucked out or the heat treatment, but the 154 cm on that would take such an acute angle compared to my other knives at the time. And I just loved that knife. And I had a friend who was leaving New Zealand here and going home to Germany, and we had gone on these trips through the Cook Islands and the Vanuatu together, and it was a really cool friendship. So I gifted this knife to this guy before he went back home. And ever since then, I haven't really been able to buy one because they're out of production. And the bug out is really cool, but I haven't liked up until recently the handle options that were available from Benchmade. So I've always thought to myself, like, man, like that was a good thing. I didn't realize it until I gave it away, and then I was like, man, what a slicer. Okay, if I could redesign two modern production knives that are almost perfect, but they're not quite me, I would want to make a Benchmade 940, like the normal reverse tanto version, that rather than being 3 millimeters thick or 0.12, it would be like 0.09 thick and really like thin behind the edge. And then I would put a steel in it that could sustain that level of thinness behind the edge and that level of thin blade, such as 3V or crew wear maybe, or maybe K390, I don't know. Honestly, I'd be happy with the standard aluminum handles that they stick on the Benchmade 940, the classic edition. But if I could just get a slightly thinner grind and a slightly tougher steel that had a little bit better edge stability, that would be awesome. Number two, I had this custom LionSteel TRE that I anodized the titanium half scale to this cool blue color and then stonewashed it. I'll try to throw up some pictures here. I would love to have another LionSteel TRE, but I would love to have the whole package a ½ an inch longer, so 3.5 inches of blade. But just as thin, not wide, you know. I'd love a thin footprint LionSteel TRE with the same handle materials and everything like that, but with a blade made of MagnaCut that's really thin behind the edge. My gosh, if I could have a MagnaCut TRE that was like 62, 63 Rockwell, thin behind the edge and 3.5 inches long, that would be the bee's knees. That would be really cool. I probably also would make the blade stock a bit thinner, maybe like 2.5 millimeters, which is like 0.10, rather than the 0.14 or 3.5 millimeters that it is right now. All right, Pete, you got to tell me, what knife do you want to design, and What are your 2 biggest regrets of selling? For the rest of you, thanks for tuning in. I hope that you enjoyed this and have a great day. Peace out from the Home Slice.